Clark on the drive, gets to the cup.
I'm just really thankful to be able to come back here.
The hype is real. The energy is undeniable. Caitlin Clark is back, and she's already setting the WNBA on fire. But while the fans are losing their minds, and her opponents are asking for autographs, some in the media seem determined to pour cold water on the blaze. Get ready, because we're diving deep into the return of the GOAT and the WNBA reporter who just can't handle the Caitlin Clark effect.
How did this crowd, this moment, this environment meet your expectations today?
I mean, they were amazing, and just really thankful to be able to come back here and appreciate this place and these fans, and I mean, it was as loud as it gets.
Today, we've got a story that's got the entire WNBA world buzzing. We're talking about the return of the Queen, Caitlin Clark, and how even before the regular season officially tips off, some of the media are already trying to downplay her electric performance and the impact she's having. So buckle up, because we're about to break down all the drama, the excuses, and the undeniable reality of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. We're not just scratching the surface here, we're digging into the roots of this narrative, examining why some find it so difficult to simply celebrate the seismic shift that is happening in women's basketball, all because of one player.
Here's Clark. Clark on the drive, gets to the cup.
For this one, we're heading straight back to where it all began, the hallowed grounds of Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa. It's a place steeped in history, a place where legends are made, and it's the place where Caitlin Clark just made her highly anticipated return to the court. And let me tell you, she did not disappoint. This wasn't just any practice session. This was the first preseason game of the 2025 season, a crucial opportunity for the Indiana Fever to shake off the rust and gel as a unit. And Clark was out there looking sharper, faster, and more confident than ever before. You could see the results of countless hours in the gym, the dedication to her craft, the sheer will to improve. You could see she put in serious work during the off-season. Dropping those signature deep threes from way downtown, the kind that make you gasp and shake your head in disbelief. Running the floor like a gazelle, pushing the pace, creating opportunities for herself and her teammates, and just reminding everyone why she's the most talked about rookie, scratch that, the most talked about player in the league. The hype leading up to this game was absolutely off the charts. It wasn't just local buzz, it was a national, even international conversation. Everyone wanted to see her back in action. We're talking about ticket prices for a pre-season matchup against Brazil's national team soaring to record highs. This wasn't a playoff game, not a rivalry showdown, but a pre-season exhibition. Yet fans were shelling out an average of $440 just to see her play. $440 for a pre-season game. Let that sink in for a moment. That tells you everything you need to know about the level of excitement and anticipation surrounding Caitlin Clark. It's a demand that transcends the typical sports market, a testament to her unique drawing power. Her impact is just different, period. It's a phenomenon that is reshaping the economic landscape of the league, proving that there is a massive untapped audience eager to support women's basketball when presented with compelling stars and exciting narratives. Now you'd think with this level of buzz, this level of fan engagement, and this level of performance, the WNBA media would be all over this, giving Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever the props they absolutely deserve. You'd expect wall-to-wall coverage, glowing analyses, and a unified celebration of this moment. And to be fair, a lot of outlets and analysts are finally recognizing that this Fever squad, led by Clark and head coach Stephanie White, could be a legit championship contender this year. The energy around this team is off the charts. There's a palpable sense of excitement and optimism that hasn't been felt around this franchise in years. They're being called the Avengers for a reason, a collection of talent and potential that, when clicking, seems unstoppable. And Brazil's national team just found out the hard way what happens when you step into the ring with this super team. It was a dominant performance, a statement game, even in the preseason. But here's where things get interesting and honestly a little frustrating. Even with all the excitement, all the undeniable evidence of Clark's impact, There's always that one reporter, that one media voice, trying to poke holes in the narrative, trying to dim the spotlight. It's as if the success is too much for some to bear, as if the sheer force of her popularity necessitates a counter-narrative, a way to bring things back down to earth. It's a puzzling resistance to embracing what is clearly a positive development for the entire league. And let's not forget the respect Caitlin Clark is getting from her peers. This isn't just about fans in the stands, it's about the players she's literally competing against, the athletes who understand the game at the highest level. Even her opponents, the players she's battling on the court, are asking for her autograph. Think about that. After being outplayed, after being defeated, their first instinct is to seek an autograph from the player who just dominated them. That shows you just how much she's changed the game, how much she's inspired, how much she's transcended the sport itself. It's a level of admiration and recognition that very few athletes achieve, and it speaks volumes about her impact beyond the box score. It's a sign of respect that cuts through any manufactured media drama. So, before we get into the drama, let's give credit where it's absolutely due. Caitlin Clark is putting the WNBA on the map in a way we have never seen before. The league is capitalizing, and rightfully so. They are recognizing the goldmine they have in Clark and are strategically positioning themselves to maximize her impact. We're talking about 93% of the Fever's games set for national TV this season. 93%. That's an astounding number. A level of visibility that was almost unimaginable just a few years ago. That's more than even the Lakers in the NBA, one of the most iconic and popular franchises in all of sports. That, my friends, is the Caitlin Clark effect. It's not just about individual stats, it's about the undeniable, tangible impact she is having on the entire ecosystem of the WNBA. It's about increased viewership, higher ratings, more sponsorships, and a growing national conversation about women's basketball. The focal point of this particular off-court drama centered around a post from a reporter, a post that quickly ignited a firestorm of reactions and exposed a clear disconnect between the on-court reality and some media interpretations. The post, attributed to a reporter identified as Roberta, offered an explanation for Brazil's performance that seemed designed to minimize the impact of the Fever's dominant showing. The core of Roberta's argument rested on the logistical challenges faced by the Brazilian team. According to the Post, Brazil had played a game against the Chicago Sky just 2 days prior, followed by a demanding travel schedule that included an early morning wake-up, a long bus ride, and 2 flights to reach Iowa. The implication was clear. Brazil's subpar performance and inaccurate shooting were a direct result of fatigue and travel woes, rather than a reflection of the Fever's superior play or Clark's individual brilliance. This explanation, however, immediately raised questions and drew sharp criticism. As highlighted by the original content, there is a fundamental flaw in this line of reasoning. Just days before facing the Fever, the Brazilian team had been observed playing with energy and enthusiasm against the Sky. They were described as vibing, smiling, and energized, showing no outward signs of exhaustion or travel fatigue. The stark contrast between their demeanor in the Sky game and their performance against the Fever suggests that something more significant than travel weariness was at play. The counter-argument, and a far more plausible explanation, is that the Brazilian team simply ran into a superior opponent that was locked in and ready to dominate. The Indiana Fever, led by a red-hot Caitlin Clark, delivered a decisive defeat. It wasn't about Brazil being tired, it was about the Fever being exceptionally good. They were, in the words of the original content, a buzzsaw, and Brazil was simply the first team to experience their formidable power in the preseason. Furthermore, the notion that Brazil was at a significant disadvantage due to travel and schedule conveniently ignores the circumstances surrounding the Indiana Fever. As pointed out by commenters and the original content creator, the Fever were themselves on a back-to-back, having played a game the day before their matchup with Brazil. They too had to travel, pack up, and compete in a different state, with no rest day in between. If fatigue were the primary factor, surely the Fever, who had just played a game the previous day, would have been the more likely candidates to show signs of weariness. The fact that they performed at such a high level, even on a back-to-back, further undermines the argument that Brazil's performance was solely attributable to their travel schedule. The reaction to Roberta's post was swift and, in some instances, quite strong. Commenters were quick to dismiss the excuses being offered, recognizing them as an attempt to diminish the significance of the Fever's victory and Clark's stellar performance. The sentiment was clear. The facts on the court spoke for themselves, and attempts to manufacture alternative narratives were not going to be accepted. The raw, unfiltered nature of some of the comments highlighted the passion and protective instinct that fans have developed for Clark and this Fever team. The visual evidence of Brazil's players seeking out Clark for autographs after the game serves as a powerful counterpoint to the narrative of a team solely defeated by fatigue. This act of genuine admiration from the opposing players reinforces the idea that they recognized and respected the level of talent they had just faced. They weren't just opponents. They were, in that moment, fans, acknowledging the undeniable impact of the player who had just dominated them. This image directly contradicts the notion that their performance was simply a result of being tired. It suggests an acknowledgement of being outplayed by a truly exceptional athlete. The broader implications of this exchange extend beyond this single preseason game. It highlights a recurring theme in the coverage of Caitlin Clark, the tendency for some in the media to find reasons to temper the enthusiasm surrounding her success. Whether it's questioning the level of competition, attributing her success to external factors, or attempting to shift the focus away from her individual brilliance, there appears to be a segment of the media that is hesitant to fully embrace the magnitude of her impact. This reluctance is puzzling, especially considering the undeniable positive effect Clark is having on the WNBA. She is bringing new fans to the league, generating unprecedented levels of interest and media attention, and elevating the profile of women's basketball as a whole. Instead of seeking reasons to downplay her achievements, the focus should be on celebrating her talent and the exciting new era she is ushering in for the sport. The future of the Indiana Fever, with Caitlin Clark leading the charge, appears incredibly bright. The question posed to a reporter about the team's ceiling encapsulates the optimism surrounding this group. With a blend of talented returning players and impactful new additions, the team is demonstrating a level of chemistry and potential that suggests they are poised to make significant strides this season. The ball movement, the energy, the collective effort, all point towards a team that is ready to compete for a championship. In conclusion, the preseason matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Brazilian national team was far more than just a warm-up game. It was a showcase of Caitlin Clark's continued evolution as a player, a demonstration of the Indiana Fever's potential, and a stark illustration of the phenomenon that is the Clark effect. While some in the media may attempt to inject doubt or offer alternative explanations, the reality on the court, the undeniable fan energy, and the respect from her peers all tell a clear story. Caitlin Clark is a transformative force in women's basketball, and her impact is only just beginning. The excuses and the attempts to downplay her success are ultimately futile in the face of the undeniable reality that she is a generational talent who is elevating the entire sport. The Caitlin Clark era is here, and it's going to be a wild ride. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The numbers don't lie. The fan energy doesn't lie, and the way she plays the game, that definitely doesn't lie. Get ready, WNBA, because the Fever are coming and they're bringing the heat.